Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Finally, we have increased player caps on servers being tested. There is a new PTU, a test patch with all the ships available on it as well, and CIG are back to work. So with all this, I wanted to do a quick news update. There is a new PTU patch out, which is focusing on raising the server player cap from 50 to 60 currently. We are opening a special PTU with the player cap increased to 60 from 50. This is an experimental setup and the build is identical to live, just with 10 more players. Our goal is to collect performance and stability data while making additional cap adjustments, but any oddities that you see would be helpful to know about as well. Please reply with any issues, new performance bottlenecks or negative impacts that are new to the PTU and not currently on live. Please include screenshots and videos where appropriate. It's important to note that this is merely a test and is not representative of any definitive incoming changes. Your help would be much appreciated. So I'll link that down below for people to read that and get involved with that test. Anyone with a game package should be able to access the PTU after copying their account over to the PTU, and you will be able to try all of the currently flyable ships there as well. So if there's something you wanted to try and fly now, it's worth a look. Back to the current live build though. Everyone has been given a freelancer temporarily to fly, as this fixes a major bug, while CIG continue to work on the 3.8.x patch to fix a load of the current problems in the game and to expand and add some more stuff. If the PTU tests go well though, we could potentially see an even higher player cap than 60 being tested, and those changes to make their way into a live build of 3.8.x if appropriate. This PTU build, and with 60 players on the server, seems to actually work extremely well and stably. I have not noticed any performance change from 50 players. According to CIG, the #1 cause of client crashes as well in the current builds of the game, so live and I suppose the PTU, are GPU driver related, and updates to your GPU drivers, so graphics card drivers, can help with these significantly. So make sure you've got your most up-to-date drivers for your graphics card. CIG is now back to work in full force, or at least some force, a lot of force. We do have a Star Citizen live this week, the 1 hour live sort of questions and answers session that CIG do, or, well, it can be different from week to week. This time they're talking and taking questions on 3.8, so it's going to be lots and lots of questions about that, how it's going to evolve, stuff and choices in game, with Todd Pappy being there, so it should be a pretty in-depth episode. That's going to be on 4 PM UTC on the Star Citizen Twitch. I'll put a link down below if you want to ask a question as well, because there's a questions thread open so that you can ask your questions. There is a roadmap update this week as well, which hopefully will see some of the major changes to the roadmap added. It's likely that CIG will wait potentially until later in January before giving us a big update to that roadmap, but it's possible we'll see one this week. I want to see if 3.9 is sort of stabilized, if it's going to have all the features that we think it's going to have, or if they're going to move some out. I'd also like to see beyond 4.0 to 4.1, 4.2, and to the end of this year, because really, realistically, I'd like to see at least 12 months ahead with that roadmap, and hopefully with staggered development, they can make these roadmaps a little bit more stable. There's no Inside Star Citizen this week, though. Apparently, it's going to be back by the 23rd of January, so potentially not next week, but the week after, and then that should be focusing on Alpha 3.9 features and progress for the most part anyway. Something else which is back this year is Calling All Devs. This is one of the shows that I really love, and it was sort of like asking appropriate devs questions about the game in a quick, snappy video format. However, CIG are not adding additional content. It appears it's being alternated each week with Star Citizen Live. I'll read you the full post for context. With the start of each new year, we like to shake up our video offerings where we can in our continuing efforts to bring you the latest Star Citizen development updates. In the past, this is usually manifested with the creation of new shows or formats to replace existing ones, always moving forwards. For 2020, in line with your feedback, we're going to try something even newer by bringing back an old favourite with the return of Calling All Devs. For those that have followed the project for some time, you may remember it as the spiritual successor to R10 for the series, where members of the community could ask questions and have them answered by our developers directly from their desks as they work. There are several benefits to this format. 1 or 2 developers don't have to carve out an entire hour or more from their work week to participate. Questions don't have to be restricted to specific subjects those people are suited to address. Because it's taped and each developer is only needed for several minutes, we can be more accommodating to our developers' schedules, allowing us to do a wider variety of voices and minimize the impact on their workload, while addressing fewer questions per week than something like Star Citizen Live All of this combined means those limited questions can potentially cover a wider array of topics per episode than in the live show. You can check out existing episodes from the prior 2018 run of Calling All Devs on our YouTube channel now. The format isn't going to change much. The big change is that the show won't be returning to its original Monday time slot. Instead, they're going to be alternating it bi-weekly with Star Citizen Live, as both shows serve much the same purpose, just using different formats. We very much enjoy the hour-long deep dive on a particular subject that Star Citizen Live gives us, and that will continue bi-weekly through 2020. We are equally excited about alternating with Calling All Devs every Friday to provide a wider array of questions we can cover each week. As always, my favourite oft-repeated phrase applies here. The only constant in game development is change. We're going to try this for a bit and continue to evaluate, as we always do. We hope that you'll be excited about the return to expanded Q&As as we are. With that, let's start collecting questions. While there is no specific guidance to topics, ask the questions you want to ask and vote on the ones that you want to see answered most. There is still some guidance to follow when submitting your queries. Staggered development means our teams are generally working on tasks 3 to 6 months out, with rare exceptions. We encourage you to let the public roadmap be your guide here. Questions related to things that are actively being worked on will always be more likely to be addressed than facets of the game that won't arrive until later. So basically they're saying, Calling All Devs, we want to answer questions for the next few patches on the roadmap. Anything on the roadmap they can answer questions on, obviously when questions still won't be answered. I'm happy that the format is coming back for Calling All Devs, but I do think that both Star Citizen Live and Calling All Devs should be running weekly, in my opinion, not bi-weekly. And they serve different purposes. Though it remains to be seen if any other new video content or changes are coming soon as well. I'll wait and see, so maybe give them a couple of weeks in the new format before I pass judgment or overly criticise though, so we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. New buyback tokens were allocated on the 8th of January, with the next ones being April 6th, July 6th and October 5th. They allow you to buy back previously melted pledges using store credit. But what do you think? Are you excited for the return of Calling All Devs? Or is it just Star Citizen Live under a different name? Do you think we will see more video content in 2020 beyond this change? What about the PTU player cap increase? Think it's going to increase further before we have a live build? Think it will still remain at 50 in live? It seems pretty good. Have you actually played the PTU test yourself? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. On a side note, Mickey from CIG, who's a level designer for Squadron 42, is raising money by running at least 3 kilometers every day as part of Red Run Every Day, January 2020. That money is being raised for Mind, which are a fantastic mental health charity, and they also want to spread mental health awareness. It's a charity close to my heart, and I will link more info down below. If you wanted to share that on social media, those links, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Every month we have a ship giveaway for January 2020. It's for an Anvil Arrow and Star Citizen game package. Just comment on any of my videos made this month to be in for a chance. More details in the description below. Oh, it's time to shill. If you're looking for a VPN, then consider NordVPN. They have many advantages over free VPNs, but are incredibly cheap, and I use them and can recommend. There's Shadow as well, which is an alternative to owning your own gaming PC. They give you a sort of Windows 10 environment focused on gaming, and it leverages the power of your internet and their cloud so that you can stream it to any device or other PC or laptop or phone or whatever. And you can now order systems with varying scales of hardware for up to 4K gaming. And as always, it works fantastically well with Star Citizen. It's an extremely affordable way to get access to a high-spec PC. Links below to Shadow and Nord, and make sure you use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to support my channel further, consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member via the join button, or sharing my videos, or liking and subscribing. Take care, and I'll see you in the verse.